the relation or the situation between Egyptian President Sisi and the IMF. Today is April 26, 2015. So this lecture is up to date. And what I will say in this lecture is only stop till now. If something happens tomorrow, I'm not responsible about it today. We should know that the IMF used to be run, used to be controlled according to the Greek nations, such as USA, UK, France, etc. desires. Why? Because these countries, these Greek nations, have the majority of the IMF voting power. More than this, these Greek nations used to be run according to the multinational corporations' targets, which is, as we used to say, the multinational corporations' basic target is to maximize profit maximization all over the world. So we can say, in reality, the multinational corporations run the IMF. So when any countries, otherwise it is developed or underdeveloped and so on, asking for help, for support, for financial support, asking for FDI or FBI or even official aids, the multinational corporations and the Greek nations imposes a preconditions. This country, you should go to the IMF and sign an agreement with the IMF. So, according to a historical analysis, if any country needs any financial or economic support or FDI and so on, it has to sign an agreement with the IMF. We already explained in our course the Egyptian economic reform program during President Mubarak era, and we already know or knew the details of the IMF conditionality. Okay? The IMF conditionality is an old and a famous common topic in international economics. It is not a new topic. The IMF conditionality can be assumed that it is similar to diabetes patient prescription. The prescription may have or already have two sides, front side and the back side. That prescription used to have some printed construction in its back side. To do so and not to do so, to eat so, not to eat so, to drink so and not to drink so. These constructions, which used to be printed at the back, are common constructions for all diabetes patients. What will be written in the front side of that prescription is some specific constructions for a specific patient. Okay? Okay. The Egyptian President Sisi knew that reality and also behaved or worked the game or played the game efficiently. He knew that the IMF conditionality includes two sets of conditions: economic conditions and political conditions. He knew that in advance he will never be able to apply the IMF political conditions. So he refused or cancelled the idea of signing an agreement with the IMF. Instead, he said, the economic teamwork what are the economic conditions, tax increase, subsidizing cuts, and so on. Okay, apply them. So, during last summer, our Egyptian government or President Sisi government applied almost all for the economic conditions which used to be in IMF conditionality, but only the economic conditions. He ignored the political ones. Also, he applied more than required in the IMF conditionality. The percentage of tax increase was low. The percentage of subsidizing cuts was or were low. So, he did so after preparing his playing cards. His basic playing cards can be summarized in four playing cards. Which are, number one, the great support by almost all Egyptians. This is number one. The great support by almost Egyptians. Number two, the great support, economic and political, by KSA, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and Kuwait. Number three, the continuous and imaginable stupidness by his opponents for political resistance. Number four, card number four, he was very smart and played on the change in the international political balances, such as Russia, China, USA, Iran, and so on. So, our President Sisi applied an economic reform program in which he applied more than required in the economic conditions and ignored, canceled all possible political conditions without signing an agreement with IMF. Finally, we can talk about the EEDC, Egyptian Economic Development Conference, which has been held in Sharm El-Sheikh about 2 months ago. We can say that conference was an economic and political conference or summit or even festival. It has two basic branches, two balanced branches. The first one is political branch. During this political branch, the Egyptian President Sisi and his government and his regime got agreed political support and agreed international recognition. In the other side, or other branch, the economic branch, this conference can be considered as a festival or a party, only to sign a final contract with many multinational corporations. This is the core idea. Economically, it is only to have press, mass media. We are signing contracts. We are signing contracts, many contracts with many multinational corporations. This is the core idea. The Egyptian government and the Egyptian President Sisi signed many final contracts with many multinational corporations without signing an agreement with IMF. So, where is the role of the IMF? Given this case, the Egyptian case, other countries can follow such strategy. So, if you remember that conference, Professor Christine Lagarde, the IMF director, came to Sharm El-Sheikh and to gave a speech. In her speech, she used to, or she sung an Arabic song for our great singer and she said, وَمَا نَيْلُ الْمَطَالِبِ بِالْتَمَنِّ وَلَكِنْ تُؤْخَذُ الدُّنْيَا بِاللَّهِ. In her speech in Sharm el-Sheikh, she tried to give some rule for the IMF. Why? Because the Egyptian economic strategy canceled the rule of the IMF. We already signed many final contracts with many multinational corporations without signing an agreement with the IMF. So the Egyptian economic strategy with President Sisi cancelled the importance of the IMF. So Professor Christine Lagarde came to Sharm el-Sheikh to keep some room for the IMF. Okay, you have 1 minute rest.